Happy Thursday, Tarleton State University. Jack Cochran here, and I'm extremely excited about today's show. We've got some really interesting news coming up, but what's going down right after is what I think will have most of you right on the edge of your seat. Oh, spoiler alert, it's an interview with a very special Tarleton graduate. But let's dig into the news first. The first bit had me scratching my head at first and then dropping my jaw while scrambling to pick it up. This news came right after Adam Sandler announced that he will be releasing 4 new movies exclusively on Netflix. So without further ado, I present you all with this. Okay, fine, I made that picture. But seriously, according to ScreenRant.com, Joe Dirt 2 is actually happening. But not exactly how we'd picture it. It's been over 10 years since the original came out, and while it didn't do so well in the box office, it gathered its own popularity mostly in the fans of Happy Madison movies, such as Happy Gilmore and The House Bunny. This movie will be taking place right after the original, which is the good news. The bad news, however, is that it won't be in theaters. Joe Dirt 2 will be released exclusively on Sony's Crackle, a streaming service, and its associate platforms. This fits in with the news of the next 4 Happy Madison movies being Netflix exclusives. The sequel was actually David Spade's idea, and thankfully, he'll be returning as our janitor that became a hero. This next news happened just a few days ago. On Tuesday, emails went out to those registered with the Pokemon Company's website that had advertisement emails turned on before the 20th. These emails were highly anticipated and had some, like me, checking their email every 10 minutes since the clock struck 12. I didn't get any sleep that night, I'm just saying. These emails were so highly sought after because each one contained a code to download a specially made demo of the upcoming Nintendo 3DS games, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. These 2 are 3D remakes of the Game Boy Advance best-selling Pokemon titles, Ruby and Sapphire, all brought up to date with the features they've been missing since their original release. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were met with worldwide excitement upon their announcement, ending a long-running meme titled Hoenn Confirmed, in which fans would find wild and oftentimes completely random bases to reach the conclusion that Ruby and Sapphire remakes were on the horizon. When the original games came out back in 2003, another meme, now a commonly used phrase, was born, the term hype train. Now, the original hype train that started them all has come full circle. These games will feature Mega Evolution, some new and exclusive to these 2 games, and a refreshed story tying in all the features fans have come to find so far, with new elements such as soaring through the sky. The demo gives the players exclusive quests and story they won't find in the actual game, with the opportunity to transfer a Glalie with its Mega Stone to the final game. And now for what you've been waiting for. I promised an interview, and I take promises seriously, so it's time for me to deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, Texans and Texans, I present you a Texan Entertainment News exclusive interview with the country sensation, Bart Crow.
Good afternoon, Tarleton State. This is Jack Cochran with Texan Entertainment News. Today we've got an extremely special guest with us today. This was a little bit unexpected, and it's something I'm really proud to say. We have somebody who's extremely talented on our show today. Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Bart Crow. Bart, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jack. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay. So, I got a question. How long have you been making music?
I'm in year 11.
Year 11?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's crazy is what that is.
Sounds like the good kind of crazy, though. The kind of crazy you want to be involved in.
Yeah, most of the time. I'd say probably 90% of the time, yes.
Well, that's a good thing. It's better than the opposite. 10% of the time, yes. 90% of the time, please get me out.
Exactly. I hear you, brother.
So what inspired you to start making music?
Oh, man, I've always been a huge fan of music. Music's always been, like, big in my life. Most of the, major events in my life, music has been there. Or now that I'm older, music is the memory that I hold on to certain times. And so when I was going to school there at Tarleton, I played guitar and messed around at the house, and then the bands were coming through, playing around town. The bands that I tour with now and that are still touring, and made some pals and made some friends and got some encouraging words and advice, or not necessarily advice, just pretty much just encouragement. Like, hey, go for it, dude. I think Jason Boland was one that really struck me back then, because he was just like, his exact quote was, we have the rest of our lives to be old and boring, so you may as well go for it while you can. So I booked a show out there at the Agave, and as they say, the rest is history.
That's really awesome. I like that mentality a lot too. You know, you've got time to rest when you're older, so get out and do things while you're young.
Yeah, that was really it, man. That was really the one line that gave me the courage to go for it. And so, it really sunk and hit home at what he was meaning, further than just almost daring me to go for it. So, I'm glad I took the chance, man. I'm glad I rolled the dice.
I think a lot of people are glad you took that chance. Your music is extremely popular, especially in South Texas. What was your reaction to seeing the burst, to seeing how many fans you've got out there, how many people love what you do?
Man, it's been a slow climb. Nothing has happened overnight, so it's been a gentle expansion that's been really nice to grow with. So I do a lot of looking back and a lot of hindsight, and yeah, it's incredible, man. I've been really blessed to be at it this long and to have grown how we have, and have the fans and the friends that we make, and still get to play 2 and 4, and so. Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's a huge blessing for sure.
What is your absolute favorite song of your own, songs that you've made?
Man, I'd say my favorite one is either Doghouse Roses or Thank You or Surrender. But, playing live, obviously, Where My Ring has done astronomical things for my live show and my career. And that one never gets old to me. It's not the old burnout song like, oh my God, this one again. Now, I do have my moments where I'm like, Jesus, people, I've got 6 records out and you only know one song. But when it comes time to play that song in our set, that's always a big highlight. So that's fun. We're just trying to spread it, and this last record, Dandelion, gave us 4 number ones on the Texas regional chart. So, we're really trying to make the number 1 radio success transparent with the live show, and everybody gravitate towards, those songs went to number 1 for a reason, and that was because, people requested them, and for that, our hats are always off and tipped, and we always feel honored. So, we really like to push those songs in the show, too, to say thank you.
I've got a lot of respect for artists that can look back at the songs that they've released, the ones that everybody seems to always want to listen to, and then all the other ones they put on their records, and still love those songs just as much, even though they're playing them time and time again. There's a lot of respect for that, especially when there's some artists out there who, when asked to play a certain song, the response is, oh God, not this again. So serious.
Yeah, man. I had a couple years where I was kind of anti-Wear My Ring, just because I didn't want it to just be the only thing. And then I look back now, and I've embraced it, and we've moved on and made great music and great records. And so I've got no qualms with anything. I'm very proud of it all.
That's really great, man. What advice could you give to other musicians who kind of want to, I don't want to say follow in your footsteps, but want to make a musical career of their own?
Yeah, I think just in my personal opinion, which doesn't mean jack squat, I think it's about being professional and not being a jerk. And, the term being professional encompasses everything from, work hard, don't be a blobber and drunk on stage, be professional. People pay their hard-earned money to come and they expect something from you. And when you book a show and take a stage, in my opinion, you have an obligation to fulfill, and people don't want to see a dummy up there. So, be on time, be kind, and just don't be a jerk, man. The music's been around centuries before Bart Crow ever even thought about picking up a guitar. And so I'm always baffled when I come across people who are just, what's the term I'm looking for? I don't know, just kind of self-righteous, kind of feel like they're owed everything. And I'm like, man, if you only could take a step out and realize, You know, you're not digging ditches somewhere. You're playing music, so be appreciative of what you got.
Man, my hats are definitely off to you for that. That's a really respectable stance on that. Saying, you know, you have a lot of respect for the music, for your field and what you do, and holding yourself to that responsible and professional sort of presence. That's really respectable.
Well, thanks, man. I had 1,000 other directions that I was supposed to go in life, and somehow stumbled into this music one, and it's worked, and it's been a wonderful ride. It's had a lot of trying times, man. You know, running a business, raising a family. It's not all fun and games and wild parties and stuff. Not at my level, anyway. It's hustle and working and staying up too late and getting up too early, and you know, trying to make sure the family's fed and taken care of. And I love it. I don't want it any other way. But you know, the self-entitlement that you see around the industry sometimes is just baffling to me. I mean, it all could end tomorrow, and everybody's lucky to have a piece of the pie.
I mean, it's crazy, man. When you think about it, it's an opportunity that not a lot of people get in life. And so seeing an artist willing to go out there and take what they're doing seriously, really respectable.
Well, thanks, man. And I don't mean to come off like I'm some square and we don't have a good time, because we actually do. But you asked what my advice was, and when I first started, a friend of mine that I like to call an old-timer was just like, man, you know, 3 rules. Don't turn down any gigs, be on time, and good old boy 'em to death. And by that he meant, you know, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. And stick to those 3 rules and you'll be okay. And that's kind of been the crutch of my business ethics.
I appreciate that. That's another good attitude to have. Well, thanks for coming in, Bart. I really appreciate it. Everybody, this has been Bart Crow interviewing for Texan Entertainment News.
Thanks, Jack. Have a good one, buddy.
You too.
That's it for today, everyone. It's been super fun, and I can't wait to see you all again next week. This week is also Free Speech Week, so use the hashtag #UnleashTheSpeech2014 and Free Speech Week. Don't forget to exercise and appreciate your right to free speech. We also have an assortment of free speech buttons up in the Texan News office that you can come by and pick up. Mine says, "Free speech, that is so fetch," an homage to one of my favorite movies, Mean Girls. Today's show is produced by Bethany Kyle and Katie Tonkin. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some Pokemon to catch. Oh, right. Have a great weekend, Tarleton State.